You should work for somebody or you want to start something on your own? How was the thoughts?
We chose a natural path of exploring in the dairies.
So when finally you got into the business of setting up a company?
Basically, if I have to say, it's a story of four friends.
1986 was the inception of your company.
Close to 4 decades now.
What were the challenges those days like, sir, when you started?
So when we started, actually we were not allowed to start.
When did the actual takeoff happen from there on?
First time we have given a small advertisement. We are supplying pure buffalo milk in city of Hyderabad.
So one way it's lucky that you didn't get the visa. Otherwise, I'm sure there's a world of difference.
Absolutely correct.
Those were the days when dairy technology was not really a favorite, I guess.
Either you go to science background with medicine and agriculture, this thing, or otherwise you go to engineering and some kind of this thing.
What did you do as a start of the career?
So basically we are from dairy technology background.
Which brings me to the question is, what about the future?
Increasing milk productivity in animal by engineering the feed, some nutrition changes in the feed, and then maybe 20-30% more milk will come and farmer will benefit and entire chain will benefit.
Is that possibility happening somewhere?
It already happened actually.
Welcome to Conversations. I'm Suresh Kochatil. Milk, they say, is a daily business. At one time, you couldn't store it beyond a few hours, but then the world changed. India went from being a nation that borrowed milk products from abroad, especially United States, to becoming a nation that is today exporting these same products. Operation Flood, and of course, Dr. Varghese Kurian and Amul are like brand names that India will never forget. But since then, the milk industry has got deregulated. We can say the dairy industry has got deregulated. And with that came new private sector players. And one of them is Creamline Dairy Private Limited in Hyderabad. I have with me today Shri K. Bhaskar Reddy, Managing Director of Creamline Dairy. Welcome to the show, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you, Suresh Garu.
1986 was the inception of your company.
Yes.
That is almost what, 40 years?
40 years now, close to 4 decades now.
But you started your processing in 91.
1990.
So let us go back a bit and ask you about where do you come from, your family and the background, your parents, your siblings.
So I belong to erstwhile Nalgonda district of Telangana. Suryapet is our hometown and nearby village Urlugonda. And my father is an Ayurvedic doctor. Later he is superintendent of Charminar Hospital. Then he was professor, principal of Ayurvedic College and retired as additional director Indian medicine for the state of Andhra Pradesh. And by profession, he used to work in different districts of Telangana. And that's how my education was in the rural Telangana, in various villages, various districts, wherever my father. Every 2 years, 3 years, my father used to get transferred and from one ZPHS school to another ZPHS. And then I think by intermediate, I moved back to Hyderabad. And since then, my studies went on to Hyderabad.
So you did your studies in Hyderabad, and then what did you do as a start of the career?
So after intermediate, I joined one college called Dairy Technology Institute in Kamareddy nearby. So basically we are from dairy technology background. Okay. So after intermediate, we moved to Kamareddy, and where it's a 4-year dairy technology course. And that's how my education, we ended up there
those were the days when dairy technology was not really a favorite, I guess. Only people from rural areas would actually prefer. But today we see that IT picked up. Those days, civil engineering was a big business, engineering business. Then maybe even mechanical was there.
True.
What made you take up dairy? You said your background is from that part of it.
So basically, the family is agriculture family. Apart from my father, I think if you go one generation back, we are all rural background, and always agriculture was there. In that, either you go to science background with medicine and agriculture, this thing, or otherwise you go to engineering and some kind of this thing. So right from beginning, our orientation was towards science. So,
no, when you talk of dairy technology those days, compared to what it is today, I'm sure there's a world of difference. in terms of the education that was given to you. Was Amul in formation those days? Was Anand Milk Union there?
Yeah. Anand was very old,
Old
this
one,
thing.
that's okay.
And Anand, there was dairy technology. NDRI was the institute in the country. There was only 4 institutes like Karnal, Bombay, Bangalore, and Calcutta. So out of this, as milk was growing, as dairy sector was evolving under the leadership of Korean and Operation Flood and all that, and then more institutions have come. So Tirupati was one institution. Veterinary was driving the entire dairy institutions. And Usmania University has taken a leap forward with one dynamic move and started a rural dairy technology college in Kamareddy. So all the professors used to come from, we used to borrow them from different institutes of NDRI, and that's how it started. Ours is the second batch of that Usmania.
Wonderful. So when finally you got into the business of setting up a company, did that thought occur to you that you should work for somebody or you want to start something on your own? How was the thoughts?
So it evolved. It's basically, if I have to say, it's a story of 4 friends.
Okay.
And we are classmates in Dairy Technology College. And like any other graduate, while coming out, will come out with a lot of dreams.
True.
So all of us, we were almost 7, 8 of us together staying in a room. So we all applied for American visa. And out of 7, 5 people got their visas.
Okay.
And 2 of us who are part of this journey were rejected by American consulate. So then we explored working here. And since we are from dairy technology background, and we chose a natural path of exploring in the dairy sector. That's how we landed into the dairy.
So one way it's lucky that you didn't get the visa. Otherwise, you would have never got into this business and now been so successful.
Yeah.
Now you started your operations in 1990. Those were the days, I think, the milk business as a regulation that came out of the, say, strict government controls. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah. So, but in terms of procuring milk, in terms of transmitting milk, in terms of storing milk, in terms of testing and quality, what were the challenges those days like, sir, when you started?
So when we started, actually we were not allowed to start as a private sector operation because till 1991, it was reserved for only cooperatives. But we have graduated in 1984, and after that couple of years we mulled. So there was a small loophole. Under technocrats, if you are a technocrat, you are allowed to operate dairy products, not milk, milk products.
Value added.
Only value added products, because as an entrepreneur you can enter. So that loophole we used and formed this company, and we worked a lot of research, went to shop, what are the products. Ultimately we have decided to start with flavored milk and ghee, which are products which are sellable, and where we can go to each store and place the product. That's how we entered into this thing. So initially it was very tough journey because sourcing is a challenge and manufacturing. Of course, we set up with the State Financial Corporation. Our investment was 50,000 each, 4 of us, 2 lakh rupees. And we went for 28 lakh loan from AP Finance Corporation. And then we bought a small land and we have built, and 24/7, all the 4 of us used to work there, and then slowly we have built up. Once production is started, it was completely a chaos, like where to sell, how to sell and all that. And each store by store we used to go and monitor. And initial 2 years was so much of struggle that a couple of times State Finance Corporation have come up with a law to seal it because we were not paying the in-time installments and all that. So yeah, it was a tough challenge in terms of managing, starting the business and taking it off.
But compared to that, today it must be a dream for any entrepreneur to start a milk business. There are a lot of them actually in the field now.
Yeah, now
but when you first came up with the steps of coming up with value-added products, as you rightly said, ghee and other products like flavored milk and all that, when did the actual takeoff happen from there on?
So what happened? These products we were able to produce, but unable to complete financial cycle. We give it to the store will sell and they'll not pay us in time, and collections were a challenge, and then we were just choking our this thing. So during that time, 91, this liberalization took place, and we immediately started milk. We bought a small packing machine. Since now we are allowed officially. And we started procuring, and at that time, it was only cooperative. Each state has got one brand, like if it is Avin,
Here it's Vijaya.
Nandini here, Vijaya, Milma in Kerala, so kind of thing. So it was a big challenge. We studied the consumers. Every consumer was upset with the kind of a milk they are supplied, with the services they are supplied. The market was under the control of a street corner kind of a thugs who are
Mafia. They were a mafia.
Mafia. So a decent housewife were unable to reach out for a pack of milk because they used to send some children or something. That kind of atmosphere was there. So when we started, first time we have given a small advertisement. We are supplying pure buffalo milk in city of Hyderabad. Himayat Nagar was our office. And on one Sunday we have given advertisement, and there was a landline, and we sat morning to evening. 176 calls have come. So that much was the demand. People were frustrated to go for a good milk. And we just note down all 176 names and started. Next 7 days we went to all 176. And out of which almost 95% people accepted our milk. Give the packet, go and deliver ourselves, and ask them, is there okay and all that. So the consumer connect was so intimate at that time. We used to know by 1 month we had 450 customers. All 450 customers by name.
You knew them.
We knew that. Where is the address and all that. So that's how we have built. It's like very organic. And by the end of 1 year, we were 6,000 liters. So a lot of hard work went into this thing, and we have got a lot of insights, and stability has come.
One end, you have the consumer ready to take your product. You have the technology in between.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is the farmer, the dairy farmer.
Correct.
Now for him, one is the rate which he can get from, the say, Vijaya, or whoever is procuring milk from him or her. What were the challenges at that end? Because quality would have been a big suspect when you actually are buying milk.
Actually, it's not. Our first victory was with consumer in urban area where we just penetrated into 5,000-6,000 consumers. And at that time, our challenge was the milk procurement, you rightly pointed out. And we used to buy this milk. Initial stages, we tied up with Sangam Dairy. Okay. Sangam Dairy is in Guntur's cooperative, district cooperative, which was having a perfect quality. And since then, so there was as we were growing fast in the city, the cooperative Vijaya Dairy was upset with our growth, and they forced Sangam Dairy to stop the milk supply to us.
Wow.
So 6,000 liters every day, sourcing good quality milk from one cooperative. Then we went and approached the managing director of Vijaya Dairy and the local minister, requested that you supply the milk. We are only in the distribution market, and we'll process and do it. Procurement is farmers, and you are the custodian of farmer. Still, milk and milk products order was evolving, like 91 to 93, 94. Still, rules were made by government only. So then they have denied it. So that's where we face a lot of challenge, and immediately we rush to far off places like Jalgaon, Trichy, somewhere, source the milk, different quality, and our consumer expectations were taken a brief 6 months beating, because during that time, mixed milk, cow milk, whatever milk available, we just
taking
protect.
it. That's it. So when you test milk, for example, fat and SNF percentage, these are very important parameters when you do that. But for a farmer, he doesn't understand this. For him, the feed that goes to the cow or the buffalo, that has different parameters. He buys or does whatever it is. Then the vets who take care of these buffaloes and cows in terms of their health, these are also got to, some things beyond your control, isn't it? But how did you manage to, kind of get that relationship right with the milk farmers?
So again, it evolved. Like initially in India, it's a mixed farming. No farmer, if they grow purely for milk animals, it will not sustainable. Till recently, a decade back. So now it's, of course, as you said, the feed has come into ways and different kind of a nutrients and all that somehow. But earlier it was respect for the farmer. So farmer's wife used to manage cattle. Farmer used to take agriculture as one of the activity. It's a mixed farming, and without going out from the house, housewife used to milk, protecting her respect, and the money comes out of it used for the education of the children. So that's how it is. It was not viable if you do it standalone labor and all that. So that's how it evolved in 90s and 2000. After that, I think the feed, fodder, now all these dairies have come, all these cooperatives have come, who has started supplying feed. Even we supply feed, fodder, medicines, all these things, treatments and artificial insemination. That's how now it evolved as a different practice.
Yeah, because the input is extremely critical, because finally the output depends on what input you have.
Absolutely.
And since then, a lot of dairies have come into being private dairies along with the government ones. The government ones are still facing a huge pushback and challenge.
Correct.
Possibly Amul is the only one which innovated and survived this entire thing. But the question obviously that would come is, milk as a product has now also become diversified. It is slim, full fat, that, toned, untoned, various factors of milk have come. Has the consumer preference changed from just milk as a milk to milk by different parameters? Sir, have you seen that change happening?
Yes, it's a continuously happening. What happened earlier, milk was the basic protein requirement for the common. And when we started, it was as low as 130 grams per capita consumption. Now we have traveled in last 2-3 decades to almost we are one of the 400 grams, and we are on par with any most of the Western countries.
Developed countries.
Yeah. So this happened because of people have, as they are becoming richer, as they are becoming, the first necessity, egg and milk are the basic protein source for anybody, and milk more so because of for vegetarians, and this is the only protein source with a complete food available. So that's how people started. So some people will not be able to take only milk. So then they moved into different. Curd is one of the important aspects, because in our South Indian or Indian diet, dahi forms a big part of it, and that's how the consumption started going up.
Now, in terms of moving from pure milk into, as you said, in terms of different kinds of milk, now you're getting into value-added products or different spin-offs from the milk itself. Starting with, as you rightly said, ghee, butter, cheese, then you come on to various flavored milk, and then paneer, and everything else is today, most of the companies like yours have a complete branch of products. How do you manage to, selling milk I can understand still, but storing products, for example, even after you make it, to ensure that they have a cold chain at the end of it to reach the consumer, how do you ensure this happens?
So the entire cold chain is established. There are 2-3 varieties of products. One, milk, as a milk, it's only 24-hour product.
It gets sold.
Every day it gets sold and all that. Products, there are short shelf life products, which lasts only 3-4 days or a week maximum. And there is some long shelf life products and some refrigerated products, which stays for 15-20 days. Long shelf life type, sterilized milks and sterilized milk, flavored milks, butter, ghee. Butter, of course, is refrigerated. Ghee and milk powders. These are a long shelf life, like it stays up to 180 days. So there is a different processing plant, different storage temperatures, and also logistics are managed according to the market. Like in, suppose, fresh buttermilk kind of a thing, which will be supplied every day, but every 5th day it has to be replaced with a new product. Milk every day, buttermilk kind of a thing every 4-5 days. Correct. And paneer and butter, refrigerated ice creams, all these things, refrigerated product, replacement will be every 15 days, 20 days in the market.
So that's, I mean, that is quite a challenge, isn't it? In terms of handling milk is a different ball game, but all these value-added products or whatever you want to call it, they need a different kind of technology at place, different kind of worker skills.
Yeah.
And of course, as you rightly said, maintaining that cold chain. Now, in terms of profitability, if we speak of profitability, there's obviously more money to be made in the value-added products. But their risk is also in terms of the shelf life, as you rightly
Correct.
said. How do you ensure that, your bottom line, your top line and bottom line stays strong with both this milk and other and the value-added products?
So both are interdependent. Without milk, there is no value-added products. There are players who will do only value-added products. It's very tough game, and you need to be a Nestle do it only purely on the brand and all that, and it takes very, very long time to independently build a value-added product brand. But otherwise, as all the cooperatives across the country and all the private dairies in the company, milk is the mainstay. In the beginning, our composition was 91% milk and 8-9% products.
Okay, sir.
Those are just out of milk powder. When surplus is there, you convert into milk powder, and whatever surplus fat is there, make into ghee. So that's the 8-9% we used to market. But now, in last 3-4 decades, it evolved so much. Now we are almost coming to 50-50 kind of a thing, 45 and 55. But for this to sustain, your milk is the mainstay. Without selling milk, you will not be able to manage all these things. So that's how it works.
Sourcing is the main question.
Yeah.
That's what I'm coming to, because if you look at today's young generation, they are no longer interested in doing the farming activity which their parents would have done, which involves getting up early in the morning, milking the cows. Of course, that's all mechanized now. But still, it is not as much as getting into an IT job or into an air-conditioned office at the start of the day and all. Do you see how do you encourage the farmers to stay in this business? Because one is the money that goes to them, which is profitable for them to maintain this business. Second is they see that this also actually can be transmitted to the next generation, can be told that this is profitable to be a dairy farmer. Are today's youngsters proud of it, or they don't want to get into dairy farming?
I have seen farmers suffering a lot last 3-4 decades. So many of them are leaving. So none of the farmers' children want to go into the dairy farming because it's a struggle. 365 days you have to be there with the animal, and you have to take care like a child. Like you have to give feed, fodder every day, morning, evening. Even a death happens in the family, somebody has to milk. So the trauma of farmer is too high. But still, all these years, they have evolved. Since independence, maybe last 70-80 years, our farmers supported the entire consumers and made us proud by giving the milk to entire nation. Now, the dynamics are changing. So, next generation, some kind of a small consolidation is happening. Even now, growing a 1, 2, 3 animal is not profitable. It is only support to their main. So aggregation is happening, 15, 20, 25 animal farm. Optimum number, which is slightly more professional, slightly more economical, and a child or an entrepreneur in the farmer will come out and he'll manage that 20, 25 very efficiently, and then it can be a profitable. That's how it's changing the entire.
Which brings me to the question is, what about the future? Naturally, even within forget the farmer, even within the ones who are running the business, there is a churn happening.
Yes.
In any business, not just in your business, but every other business talks that the next generation, the second and third generation, mostly the third generation, are not really interested in the business.
Correct.
Very few family businesses have survived beyond 3 generations.
Right.
Taiwan is a good example of it, where they have survived because they are a machine tool industry. They're seen heavily technology industry where the family carries on for 6-7 generations even now. But what happens, and we've seen many big players in this business, in the dairy business, private sector, selling out to their stake to different companies who have bigger, deeper pockets to run this business,
Correct.
who have a diverse portfolio of consumer products that can be sold across malls, across supermarkets, and that kind of setup. Godrej Agrovet was one company that approached you.
Yeah.
When was this, and what kind of business relationship has it been?
So this we realized almost 20 years back. Jersey is close to our heart. So we have built this with thick and thin, as I explained you, with lot of struggle. In 2004, Godrej approached us for joining us. Godrej was largest feed manufacturer in the country.
Okay.
And together we thought we'll take one experiment of increasing milk productivity in animal by engineering the feed.
Okay.
Some nutrition changes in the feed, and then maybe 20-30% more milk will come, and farmer will benefit, and entire chain will benefit. So they hired a Israeli consultant called Goldrat, and he has come personally, and then we chose an area and where we did experiments with the farmers. So with lot of data collection and all that, 1.5 year we did this experiment, but unfortunately because of the conditions, the milk productivity improved. That 30% ended up only 8-9% milk productivity.
Okay,
and for that, lot of data has to be maintained by farmer. So after 1.5 year, we shelved down the project, and Godrej has turned a 26% stakeholder into our company. And since our values matched and our philosophy matched, and we were very comfortable with each other. Godrej with a 125 years legacy, and they
are also a family business.
The family business, they are also same thing. And as we progressed, our second generation was not keen into coming into the dairy, and we were very keen to protect the brand and create a legacy for long, and Jersey should be there, this thing. So since the ideas married together, and then we professionalized the company. Year after year, we strengthened our entire systems, processes, and all that. And it should run like in auto mode. Like today, I'm there, somebody else.
Process driven. Rather than people driven.
So that path we have taken to strengthen with the support of Godrej.
Now, when you look at Godrej today, and when you really look at the long-term picture, do you think there comes a scene when maybe Godrej will tell you tomorrow that, look, we want to own this company totally? Is that possibility happening somewhere?
It already happened, actually.
Okay.
So it evolved. In 2005, we have given 26%, and we traveled together for next 10 years. So our philosophy was the business stakeholders. Each stakeholder should be satisfied, whether it is consumer or our employee or our farmer or our supplier. Everybody should be. It's a very clean, straightforward, value-driven company. We made that. So today I don't own anything. Like it's the company driven by people and stakeholders.
Okay.
So that philosophy took us next 10 years, and in 2016 we made a subsidiary by giving 51%. Anyway, when we ask our children what they say, so let the professionals run the company and create the value. And I may not be a better person to run. I have my interests. So absolutely, it's a win-win.
That's happening everywhere. I mean,
everywhere.
Tatas are not run by Tatas anymore.
Exactly.
It's run by other
then recently, as we speak, we are almost making a 100% subsidiary of Agrovet.
Okay.
So
that means that, one thing that is very clear is the number of private players are increasing. Mm-hmm. Even the government, things like even if you look at Nandini or Avin or Milma or Vijaya, they're all facing intense competition today. They cannot relax like way they used to do before. They also need to innovate. At the same time, the question which I asked you earlier, are we able to increase the production of milk in this country, overall production? Because looking at the challenges, as you rightly said, next generation is not interested even in the milk production business. How do we increase the quantity of milk that is available for an increasing number of consumers who are willing to now pay a higher price for a good quality milk?
Production is increasing, continuously increasing, but productivity is still a challenge. Productivity per animal per year production, whereas almost 10,000 to 12,000 liters a year, ours is only 4,000 to 5,000 a year. So for that, completely the management of animal need to be taken, and good breeds have to come up. Artificial insemination has to take, nutritious food, taking care of the animal, which are possible in a bigger farms. But bigger farms, unfortunately, are not profitable in this country because there is milk available at a reasonable cost by procuring from the farmer, which is not his main source. So now we are in the midway path where the 25, 30 mid farms are coming. Okay. From now onwards, the productivity will increase. There is some improvement is there in productivity so far, but not as expected. But going forward, I think I see increase in the productivity.
When you look at international markets, international milk producing countries,
Yeah.
big numbers, like, I mean, we are a huge country of 144 crore people now. But if you look at a apple to apple comparison with, say, advanced countries, where are we in terms of milk production and, of course, consumption?
Consumption, we are the consuming nation now, entire producing.
Yeah.
So, because of the government's involvement in protecting the farmer, rightly so. Because if you open it up, what happens? People will dump, and our mainstay, the farmers' economy will collapse. So that's how they are still protecting. It is not very freely tradable. Even if you produce, you can't sell, export, or import easily. Like Oceania, New Zealand and Australia are one of the main exporters. Their consumption is very little and they produce huge volume and across the state. And similarly, South America is there, Europe is there. So in terms of consumption, we are way ahead and it is growing. And productivity, self-sufficiency is there, and whatever surpluses, we are also slightly taking part in the exports to third world countries.
As we close this conversation, the question obviously, what is the road ahead looking like? Now I know that you might say that I am giving it to Godrej, or I will only be looking at the bigger picture, a 30,000 feet view. But when you look at the industry as such, from where we progressed from importing, as I started the conversation saying, we used to import milk powder from United States and other countries. We were a nation perennially short of milk, to a state where we are right now. But say you look at 10 years from now, what is going to be the roadmap like?
So, a lot of new ideas are coming, and new generation is coming in as startups, and they are coming with new ideas, and still finding gaps, whatever current dairies or current landscape of dairy industry in the country. Wherever there is some gap, they are filling it, and many small startups are coming. But there is a scope for everyone to grow if you are coming up with the right mindset and right execution skills. And if you have to have that passion in dairy industry, and otherwise it is very difficult to survive in this industry. I see great future for dairy industry in the country, and some more new startups will grow into the bigger this thing. But the struggle will be there, like it is not easy to compete with the bigger dairies.
In fact, that is one of the things, because as we rightly started the conversation and ending the conversation, it's all about, you can't stop producing milk.
Yeah.
The milk has to be milked every day. It is a 365 days, 24/7 job. Unlike other industries where you can take a break or take a holiday, you can't do this. Wonderful speaking to you, sir, Mr. Bhaskar Reddy. And I'm sure the viewers who are watching, maybe some entrepreneurs who are watching, will get some ideas from what you said, the struggle that you went through to finally come to a point where you can say that you have made a mark. Creamline Dairy has made a mark for it. So thank you for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Bhaskar Reddy, Managing Director of Creamline Dairy Products. A man who, along with his friends, built a business right out of college to where it is now, kind of expanded the scope, kind of expanded the production, kind of expanded the delivery of milk and milk value-added products. And then there is a lot more going ahead. We will see that in the days to come. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.